Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Spiritually Empowered Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Welcome in. Let's share a really deep breath and just let it spill back out. So today is a very special episode. My beautiful friend Eden Thaler interviewed me on her podcast, Field Notes from the Spiritual Journey. Highly recommend. You will find all of her links in the show notes. And her podcast is undergoing a transformation, so she has allowed me and invited me to share our special interview on my podcast. So I'm really excited to share this with you. I speak on my sacred union with my partner. I speak on my relationship to the word God and the massive opening that I've experienced in my life in that space and the huge life-changing transformations that have happened for me in my exploration with that word God, and how I've woven that into my role as a shaman, my role as a guide through the spirit world. And I share on my membership and what the vibe of that is. So I'm really, really excited for you to hear this episode. And let's go ahead and jump right in. Enjoy, love.
All right, so we're here with Ashley. I feel like in my head, you don't need an introduction, but I know to people you do, because Ashley's been in my life for a while. She's been on the podcast before a few years ago now, which is crazy. You will have already heard her intro previously, but Ashley, welcome back to Field Notes from the Spiritual Journey. You're joining us this is such a new energy and a new season kind of the podcast. So it's an honor to have you here to help just anchor in the vibe. So thank you for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you, my love, for having me. Welcome to a new season. Welcome to the present moment. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Me too. And there's so much I want to go into with you as always, but something that's really alive for you is sacred union. And I guess tell us everything from a personal level. I want to hear about when did you meet this man? Because I'm not sure the timeline, but also, yeah, what has the lessons been like for you around the inner union, the divine union in this kind of not new, but somewhat new relationship?
Yes, absolutely. So what really cleared my path for that was some big transformations that happened last November, and then the parting of me and my ex. So I met my partner now while I was still in my previous relationship. I was a client of his, a hair client, and he was a client of mine. I did a shamanic healing for him in his house, which I never do. That's very rare. I don't even offer one-on-ones right now. But it's really on a case-by-case basis. If God tells me to walk, I walk in that space. So I went and gave him a session, and we knew each other when I was in my previous relationship, but we had just met probably around December of 2022. And I had a huge business shift. Now it's winged alchemy. That's a whole journey and transformation. And then I had the loss of my partnership. And then I went to Hawaii, and me and my previous partner stayed committed for like a month or so to really anchor. For me, it was important to follow through with my commitment to see this through, to take it to the edge, to take it as far as I could go. And I took it as far as I could go, and it just went poof. It just totally released into the ethers. And then literally a couple days later, I was at brunch with my now partner. And so it really was like, I wasn't looking, it's one of those where it's like, I wasn't looking. And he really just pursued me as a total fucking king, straight up. He's like, do you want to go to brunch? He's like, what? And I just remember him saying, I'm here now. He got there early. And he was like, do you prefer a table or a booth? And just from the start, absolute gentleman. And it was rock climbing, and it was like, let me make you a shamanic rattle. And it was just such a fun, deep connection right off the bat, right when that past relationship was like blown away, cleared. And of course, I went through a whole journey of grieving and all these things, of course. And then we just freaking rose in love. Like it's the most natural, organic thing that's ever unfolded. He just kept showing up. I just kept showing up. There's so much courtship. There's so much of sacred feminine and sacred masculine dynamics happening. We're gods. Like we literally have that king, queen intentionality in our union. And we do the best that we can to walk as that in service to a higher purpose. So it's very sacred, holy union in that capacity. Some lessons. One has been, let's see. One has been deep trust, because there was betrayal in my past relationship. There was hurt, and I've been very transparent. And I see myself as unmasked. I'm going to share. If something upset me, you're going to know. And as a king, that's what he wants. So there's a deep honesty and an unmasking. There's not even unmasking. There's no mask to unmask at this point. And it's not I'm not perfect human, but it is my absolute core value to be myself, to be revealed in who I am. And that gets messy and there's emotions. But I would say the greatest lesson I've learned is that it can be different. Mm-hmm. It can be different. This person, this can be a union where there's really deep trust and relaxation in it. And trust, really comes back to the self. How deeply do I trust me in the decisions I make? And the way that he describes being in integrity as a sacred union, like when you're not with your partner physically, is fucking beautiful. He's teaching me a lot about that.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And was that something that you brought to the fore, this past pain with betrayal, or was it something you knew was in yourself that you had to kind of be aware of? Like, was that fear popping up? Like, oh my gosh, what if he's betraying me? And how was the communication around that? And then also, what was your inner alchemy around, like, okay, I have this betrayal wound, but I want to rise into trusting this person? What was that like?
Yeah, totally. So before we even got together, I opened up about my past relationship and the past betrayal, and we just talked about it. Like we straight up talked about what it feels like when your man is liking other women's photos that are really sexy online. I mean, we discussed that. Like we literally, before we even committed into monogamy, we just talked about what that is like. And he's older, so he has more experience in his life. And I'm learning, age can make a difference. I say can. It's not that it does automatically, but it really can. And so we just talked it through and I got to hear his perspective. He never was like just trying to please me and say, oh, I'll never hurt you. He was actually describing what I was experiencing through his own journey and perspective. So he was bringing his experience and opinions to the table and never just agreeing with what I was saying. Mm-hmm. And of course we aligned in that, like we matched in that. And how I moved through that fear is, gosh, what is one of the things that I've stepped into? It's hard to pinpoint, honestly, because it's just been this like evolution of deep trust in God, deep trust in self, and therefore deep trust in my partner. Like those are the foundations: self, God, and then partner. Mm-hmm. That's the mirror. And I let him know, like I used to have associations with substances, late night, and cheating. This was many years ago. And I let him know, hey, I have these associations, because he'll go out and have a drink in his community and like connect with people. And I'm not here to change anybody. I'm not here to say, don't do that. That's not my vibe. Unless I really feel that it's not coherent with me, straight up. So he's helping me understand that those associations are not the ultimate truth.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's the ultimate healing, I feel, in so many of our past wounds, because it's when you're presented with a scenario that looks so similar to something in the past that caused you so much pain, and yet it's not hurting you.
That's right.
And I feel like there's this moment where the two unlink. And you're like, oh, now I can see my partner go out and have a drink with his community, and that trigger isn't there.
Right. There's a sensitivity there sometimes. and he'll click in. He's like, hey, I'm home. Hey, I'm here. Like, and you know what's different, Eden, is that, and he's told me this recently, he's like, you're the prize. You come first. He's like, you're the prize. And I don't think I freaking had that in my past relationship. It was growing, you know, his business and being and providing for his young daughter. Like, in this union, we both hold each other at the top. That's the difference at the end of the day, is your focus. He's like, you come, you know, first. If you are uncomfortable with something, your feeling on it, that rises above my need to go out. He says that. And that's probably the main difference, is that him and I both are top of the line, the priority, you know?
Yeah. Are there specific things or touch points or rituals that you all have created within your relationship to keep that container?
Ooh, yes, I love that. Number one, stay true to your word. Walk in integrity. Try to be on time the best you can. It's like your word and your actions need to align, or else there's not safety and intimacy. So it's follow through. And that's not to say, oh, you know, I'm not feeling well, or oh, I really want to take this night to myself. Like, that's all good. Yet it's follow through with actions and words. That's very key. That creates safety. And then another one is, we'll ask each other, you know, what's like, I'll ask him, what is your favorite thing about me right now? Like, we will play in conversation with that intimacy. And he'll always say, you know, consistently, what can I do for you? Is there anything I can do for you? Just in random moments. And so it is through our throat chakras mainly, of asking beautiful questions. And we've joked, we're like, fuck, we want to make like a card deck of beautiful questions so we can look into each other. Tell me what the highlight of your day was today. And that it's just, the whole world gets quiet, and it's just me and him sharing and hearing and sitting on the couch. So it's that, and it's a lot of time together. You know, we do spend a good amount of time together. And that's new for me, is, you know, the past person was so busy and so tied up and this and that. And again, it's like him and I are really, really synced up with what we want and what our priorities are. So I'd say asking beautiful questions. What's your favorite part of my body right now? You know, how can I make you feel loved today? We'll ask each other that in the morning sometimes, a lot of the times, especially if we've had a beautiful sexual opening. You know, what can I do today? And I like to say, I'd love for you to, I laugh because it's just my sweetheart. I just love my sweetheart. When I'll say, you know, I'd love for you to just text me today and ask me how my heart is. How's your heart today? Right. And then the idea is, I ask my heart too in my meditation. I am my lover. I touch my body, I hold my heart, and I make requests, Eden. I am in love with requests, sexual requests, you know, requests. It's like those desires are holy. When he requests for something sexually or anything, I'm like, I just welcome. Oh, I'm welcoming that. And that doesn't mean that I'm immediately a full fuck yes to it. But I love our open communication with the desires and with the desire to meet each other's desires.
Yes. And I feel like the requesting aspect of it actually creates the space for the other person to be like, oh, yes, or like, no, I can't, or some combination. I mean, obviously, it's probably mostly yes, but I think that bringing that throat chakra element to expressing it, which also requires having first owned it within yourself, also opens the, it's like, I feel like in relationships, in an unconscious relationship, we have so many covert expectations that we can get entangled in. And when it's brought through consciously, there's this space to be like, I'm holding this desire within myself first and foremost. I'm now expressing it to you, therefore it can be light. And also it like liberates the other person because you're holding it too. And if they're like, no, I can't, or, you know, I'm simply unable to do that today, or my capacity or whatever it is, it's like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
I think that setting a culture in a relationship is so important, just like a work culture or a business culture or whatever, a community culture. I think relationships have a culture, and I love that you offered that resource of requests, because that's such a tangible thing that can completely change your relationship. Derek and I used to get so upset or frustrated when I would like clean the whole house, or, I would put all these expectations on myself to do things. And so I just started telling him, like, when you get home today, I'll text him, be like, when you get home today, make sure you comment and rave and rant about how beautiful the house looks. Like, I just ask him. I'm like, remember to like be so excited about dinner, like give me a lot of compliments about it.
Love that.
And he does, and it's so light, and it's just like funny.
I love that so much. I bet that just creates such a flow of freedom in your body for new things to flow in, because nothing's getting stuck up and you're not disappointed because you're expressing and you're opening up.
Yes. And to own, like, I think a huge part about the feminine that I at least experience is the desire for just admiration, like just the desire for compliments, the desire to be reminded, like whenever things are getting tense between us, Derek will start joking, just being like, "You're so beautiful." And I'm just like, really?
Oh, I love that.
But just like knowing those things for you and your partner, and I think just consciousness, like bringing awareness to our patterns, just liberates them.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead. I was just going to ask, you can put this for later if you want to get that thought out, but if there are any other touch points or resources, and then also I'm curious about your kind of like dedication of your relationship to a higher purpose. I'm curious to hear more about that.
Totally.
Or how you incorporate spiritual practice together
with my partner.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I'll start there. So, yes. So one thing we do is we pray together over every meal. And I have become the certified prayer over our food. I'll self-certified. I'll ask him, "Oh, do you want to pray?" He's like, "No." Like, he really loves when I pray, and I'll pray over our energy every day. Again, especially if we had a beautiful sexual opening, it's like I will, energetically shield us, and of course with his consent, right? Because that's key. Consent is key. So I'll pray over our food, and I'll pray over our energy bodies. And my friend gave me this book called Prayers of the Cosmos, and it is different. I could not recommend this enough. It's absolutely incredible. I'm totally plugging this book right now. And it's different translations of the Lord's Prayer, and it's totally different than the Bible. Like, it's literally, instead of our Father, it's like, "Oh, birther, Father, Mother of the cosmos." It's a whole other opening. And you could say it's closer to the Aramaic, if I'm saying that right, the language that was spoken. So he's so into all of that. He even asked me, "Would you be okay with recording yourself, like saying a couple of those prayers and sending it to me?" So we both have a devotion in our own way to our higher power. And when I started re-owning the word God, I asked him, because I was saying Great Spirit in our prayers. I'm like, "How does that feel for you, for me to use the word God?" He's like, "Feels great." I'm like, wow, nice. So it's a real alignment there. And for him, it's really important for men, especially, well, everybody, but for men to have resources to process. Absolutely imperative, because there's way more trigger warning suicides for men in the world, right? And it's just the way that he processes is through his connection to earth. And I'll ask him if he has a long day or a hard day or things like that. I'm like, "My love, what's one of your ways that you process things?" And he's like, "I just go outside. I just step outside. I just connect to the earth. And if a trigger comes up, one time he was like, "I just need to go like paddleboard down the James today." And I was like, "Go, like, do it, my love." And so him having his tools to process really is key, because that clears his psychic channel. because he's very psychic. That clears his energy. So I would say we both share a devotion to that higher power, to God, and to living our purpose. And he lives in service. Like, if you know this person, like, he's a helper guy. He's saved lives before. I mean, he just walks this earth, and it reminds me of my dad, truly. He's just, if he sees somebody hurt, like, he's there. Like, if he hears a gunshot or if he hears a car wreck, he's outside. Like, he is in the world in service, beyond his prayer. Like, he walks in help, in this helper archetype for others. So I find that absolutely so sexy and epic and sacred.
That's so beautiful.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Are you familiar with the Enneagram by chance?
Yes, I am.
Do you know yours and his?
I don't know his. I've heard some things about how it might not be so accurate, because mine has come out as like the achiever, which fits the bill. Number 3, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the achievement number, somebody that's super driven to be seen, to share gifts in the world, that type of thing. But I don't know his. I do know his life path number and a good bit of his astrology, though.
Okay. Yeah, I just am touching the surface of Enneagram. I don't know. I honestly don't know a ton, but there is one type that is like the helper, and that's just why I was curious. Okay. I love to shift into hearing about your reclaiming of the word God.
Cool.
What brought that on? What's it been like? Tell us about it. It's something I've talked about on the I talk about God a lot on the podcast, so you can use that word. And
great.
Yeah.
Cool. So it all started with my Saturn return. I'm in my Saturn return. It started in March of 2023. And let me just take a breath. And if everybody together wants to take a breath, who's listening? A really lush breath. So I never grew up with religious strictness, thank God. So I wasn't repulsed by any type of religious trauma or things like that. Now, I do know about it, and I am aware of what can unfold in those spaces. And I'm cool with religion. I'm cool with this. I'm cool with that. Like, if it serves love, like, you walk your walk, you flow with your own path and beliefs. Like, that's my anchor, is you do you. And with shamanism, they use the word great spirit. And shamanism is a path that I really walk, I truly feel. And shamanism believes in animism, which everything is of great spirit, the spirit of the plant, the spirit of the tree. And we actually can tell with I was just talking to my friend, she's like, yeah, you can plug up these little things to like plants and they'll freaking sing a song. Like, they are alive. They are living and they're breathing and they have vibration. So in shamanism, they're like, yeah, the spirit of the river, the spirit of the water. And I totally feel that. And I, was told by the spirits that I am a shaman. And that was a huge, and we can pin that if that interests you to go into that whole identity shift, because that was really humbling and just wild. And so in my journey of developing my psychic gifts, I've talked to a lot of spirits and I've talked to a lot of angels, and I have a process to discern them. And I have training with clearing entities out. And so there's been a lot of spirits. There's been a lot of voices. There's been a lot of connections. There's been a lot. And with my Saturn return, if you look at the astrology of it, it's in Pisces, which is the God place. It is the vast universe, and Saturn is structure. So it's like, you're here on some level to create a map to the invisible world, to lead people through the dark, and to have your torch, to have a flashlight, to lead people through invisible realms so they can change their life and heal the soil of their reality, which is under the surface, which creates everything else. So with that, lots of spirit talks, lots of this, lots of that. And then I signed up for this course. This was just like 2 months ago at most. I signed up for this course. And through all of that, I believed in great spirit and I would pray. And, I believed in that one God, but it was almost like my alignment was like this. It was like at like 2 or 3 o'clock versus being full flooded with source power, God power. So I felt doubt, right? I was feeling like I had to carry all of this, all of my purpose, and I had to keep my vibration at par, and I had to develop mastery. I was holding myself at a high bar, and that was fucking tiring. And so I signed up for this course by Victoria Washington. And she's epic, okay, right? And she just starts talking all about God, and she even said God's not within you, but you can be in God. And she was just triggering me with that, just slightly. It wasn't a massive big old thing, but I was like, I'm uncomfortable with the word God. I noticed that I am edgy with this is edgy, and I like to edge my mind. I liked when I'm a little bit uncomfortable with a concept, I like to stretch that. So if I feel a little edge there or a little discomfort, I'm like, ooh, ding, 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 that could be a doorway for me. So I said, all right, for 10 days, like I can do anything for 10 days. I said, I'm going to do an experiment. For 10 days, I'm going to devote my entire life, every second, to God. I'm going to re-own the word God. I'm going to explore the word God for 10 days. And those 10 days changed my life.
Wow.
And I gave myself journal prompts. And I think I went over 10 days of my journal prompts. I kind of got swept up in it all, but I stayed with that devotion because, again, your word and your action, if you want to develop trust in your body, in your gifts, you got to follow through. Like for real, for real. So I asked myself every day, I wrote it out. How close do I feel to God today? And then I wrote out, could I surrender more? And just flow right. And then I said, where's God leading me today? And I just had that structure of those questions every day. I traveled and I still did this, right? It's like nothing got in the way. It's like in relationships, if that person wants you, they're going to fucking let you know. They're going to show up at your house. And if they're not, see ya. It's like it's this or nothing. And I'm mindful not to say, oh, he's so amazing. And he's the, can you feel the instability in that? Oh my God. Oh, it's just no, I deserve that. That's the normal for me. I celebrate that and I lift into that and I love that. And he's an incredible man. And that's that level for me. That's what I deserve. I'm normalizing having an epic relationship. So, anywho, I did that whole experience and I was talking to God. And I just started to feel my alignment going right back to 12. Eden, I felt relaxed again. I stopped feeling like I had to hold my vibration and hold myself at some godly level. I started to embrace my doubt more. And she said this thing, Victoria Washington, and this changed my life. The difference between lukewarm faith and bone deep faith. That's lit. That's fire, baby. Come on.
That's good.
And I was like, damn. And so I heard these two things from God in terms of my next level. We all want to get to that place. We all want to usher in the next level self. It's what we're born to do. And it was like, these are the two things that you're meant to focus on. One, bone deep faith. Anchor that baby. Your next level requires it. You got it. Number two, I need you to understand the value of you and the value of your work, independent of what people pay you, independent of external circumstance.
Wow.
Those two things. Because I've had a pattern of feeling like I am giving a lot and I have put thousands and thousands into my expertise. And I have had this pattern of feeling like it's not being reciprocated, especially with the money sign. And if you look at my astrology, it's all written in the stars. And I want everybody to know that's listening to this, the desire that is inside your being is absolutely destined for you, period. 100,000% anchoring into that right now. And everything that leads up to that is a sacred lesson and a sacred preparation. So I'm a pattern breaker. Anybody like raise y'all's hand up in here. I'm gonna pretend I can see y'all. Who's a pattern breaker? I know you are the queen over here. Eden, snaps to you. Thank you for all you do. You just amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And in order to break a pattern, we've got to extract the gift. So if it's a pattern of not feeling like you make enough money, if it's a pattern of feeling lied to in relationships, if it's a pattern of not trusting yourself, or a pattern of binge eating, I've been through probably all of those. What's the gift? Why did your soul, maybe, can't say this for certain, why did it maybe choose to live this out? And I heard from God, it's like, I need you to know the value of your work, whether anybody shows up to your stuff. Independent of the external. You can have all that money. You can have those 10,000 people in the audience. You can have anything that your heart desires, but I need you to understand your value.
Wow.
So it got real clear. It got real clear. And I started to relax. And another thing with sexuality and kink is I've had this kink of wanting to be restrained, and I still do. I'm into it, of wanting to be tied. Because when I'm tied, I have to let go. I have to relax, or it's easier for me. I don't have to do shit. It could be easier to let go. And that sort of fixation and kink is starting to soften, even though it's still there. And I absolutely will be tied up. If my partner's listening, you absolutely will tie me up. And he's all about it. Thank you, God. He's all about it. So about it. I'm like, hey, this is my desire. Are you into that? He's like, yeah.
Love it. What a king.
Right. And so even kinks can have a deeper exploration of, what do you want to feel? I want to let go. I don't want to drive this ship. I want to bow my head and be absolutely guided. In the launch of this membership, how much fun can I have?
Yeah.
Straight channeling. And even when I post things on Instagram now, something's different. I'm less grippy to people liking me. I don't need that. Because as Victoria Washington has said, which I am taking in and on, because I dig it, I know that I am in the frame of God.
That's beautiful.
How epic. It's like, I don't have to hold this high vibration and yes, we seek to hold high vibration, sure. But at the end of the day, why don't we just relax into it and let something that is all knowing, lead our path, and we direct that force through our intentionality, right? So I'll pause there. That was a lot. That felt really, really beautiful to share. Thank you for that question.
Thank you for sharing that. That was really beautiful for you to share. There's so much in that. I wrote down like 4 things, but I just am deeply relating, especially from a business standpoint and the journey that I've been on the last 6 months of just, it's so easy to forget that surrender, that God portion of the spiritual path, as ironic as that might sound, since God is the spiritual path, whatever word you want to call it, but that sort of letting go of the external validation in all its forms, just taking it back and not needing to be jumping out of my own skin. Or it's almost like if the faith is bone deep, it's in like the bone marrow, kind of, it's this feeling of like going externally, jumping out, instead of, I can be so seated and I don't have to chase. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter who listens to my podcast. It doesn't matter if anyone listens. It shouldn't matter any of that. It shouldn't matter if I post on Instagram ever again in my life, because that's how deep it is. And that's how deep what I want to bring through is. And I'm just so curious now, because I've been on a big journey with social media and everything, and just how much that can take us out, even when we're consuming the most spiritual, quote unquote, of content, how easily my consciousness and attention can be taken out of that remembrance and kind of holding that. And I'm curious, you had this stretch of God awakening, devotional days. How have you integrated that practice in with your other practices. And I'm curious how you hold knowing I am a shaman and I'm surrendered to God.
Mm. Oh, wow. That's so great. My first feeling is, I have no idea. I just live and breathe the power in my being, and I let that lead. I love the mystery. I love not knowing. And I also love being untethered to who I was yesterday. I am so anchored in God that I get to shift everything. I get to shape shift. It's like that core. So I would say after I've asked those questions and went through that 10 days, that's where I go when I wake up. I use the word God. I pray to God. I speak this prayer every morning. Birther, mother of the cosmos. And it's like at the end of the day, like you said, any path will get you there. Any word will get you there. Yet for me, this is a really important exploration. So in terms of being a shaman and all the spirits that I talk to and everything, I haven't really known how to integrate it, honestly, because I'm so used to, invoking the powers of the jaguar and invoking these spirits and letting them speak and letting them move through me. And so it's a bit of a shift just in terms of recognizing that all of them and all of the spirits serve God. So it's a perspective change. It's not like my practices have changed really.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so my focus and the feeling that everything that I'm inviting in serves love, serves God. And I do talk to Jaguar and I do talk to spirits. And the wild thing is my psychic gifts have been strong. It's like, I was looking for a hair tie, I heard in my head, go look in this purse, boom, found the hair tie. And then I found something else I was looking for. It's like, go here, do this. Hearing a song in my head and then hearing it at this meeting I had with my new friend, and just, it's almost like that womp, 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 that quantum reality when everything is just merging in the present moment. And it's like, boom, you're right there. You're right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to feel happy all the time. So it's just a little shift in terms of, I just keep seeing that clock. Instead of being at 2:00 and going straight to the spirits and going straight to Jaguar, I go straight to my source. And at the end of the day, I have no idea how that will continue to integrate, because perhaps there's a part of my ego that still views the word shaman as godly. And I feel like we're all godly. A shaman is somebody who's responsible, who stewards both worlds, who helps people through the dark. It's not a hat of, you're super cool and here's a crown. It is that, and everybody gets that crown. It doesn't separate me from society. It makes me come into society and honor who I am in the world. Because it's like this age of Aquarius, my love, is literally about, who the fuck are you? If your calling is go and be a school teacher, that's your calling. If your calling is shaman, that's your calling. If your calling is get a job, that's your calling. So it's like, age of Aquarius, this is about being who we are and stripping off the masks and walking through the world as a permission slip, as who we are from moment to moment. So that feels like how I am merging those worlds. I know who I serve. I know how I want to make other people feel. And I also love my spirits. I talk to my spirits and I call from, like, who are the 3 strongest guides right now? And they show up and I say, okay, what's your name? I'm always asking questions. I'm talking to the plant. I'm talking to my thoughts. And that's what shamans do. You can teach other people how to do that. Oh, I had a thought. Who's talking? Right? It's like, oh, who are my top 3 spirit guides? We are directing God through our actions.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk to spirit, start talking. Right? It's like a mystic is somebody who figures it out, who just walks the path. And that's what I love to do in terms of my business, is help people connect those dots and start having a more direct link to who they really are and who they're born to be in this world.
Thank you for sharing all that.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little about your membership, or does that make sense to share? Will it be an ongoing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to share a little bit about that and what people can expect and what like a beginner, I don't know if it's for beginners, just tell us about the membership.
Cool. Yes. So the membership was born out of my desire for greater structure and obviously greater service. That's the number one thing. I got really exhausted with one-off sessions and one-off events and courses. And I started to click into sacred structure. I'm a number 4. I'm a builder. Life path number 4. I've got Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Capricorn. It's like you are creating structures in the spirit world. Have fun. And so I was like dreaming and envisioning a temple. And the membership is really for somebody who has already explored to some degree, already feels a little bit psychic, already feels a little bit intuitive, probably has dug into some healing of their own, but it's like you're ready to take it to the next level. And the next level involves structure and community. When we go out and try and piece together our path and go study this over here and go study, there comes a point when we're done with the buffet. And the membership is a potent, simple, lush as fuck, pristine, guided growth path. So you just get to show up 3 times a month. That's not too much. Like, this is not to overwhelm anybody. This is weave this into your life. 3 times a month, one theme a month, and you're just gonna be ushered into your next level through that path of sacred structure and simplicity. It is a path. Month 1, month 2. I'm like, all of these seekers out here wanting to actualize, come into this temple and be led through a sacred structure. So it truly feels like a temple space, and it's for the rebel souls. It's for the souls that are like, I'm not willing to stay in this shitty place. Like, I'm literally born to heal, and I'm literally born to help. And I'd like some support with that and some guidance. So the whole Winged Alchemy membership, you can think of it as psychic development and connecting to spirits and your version of God, activating your inner healer, clearing out your energy field, embodying your power as a sensitive soul, and developing a level of mastery in these topics. So the membership, the greater vision is keep it rolling. So at this point, it's a 6-month commitment at $55 a month or pay in full, which is incredibly accessible. I'm already dreaming about increasing that. And I'm thinking about grandmothering people in. Each point at 55. But anyways, that's besides the point. So it's 3 times a month. We meet live on Zoom. You get a new moon reading, a full moon reading every month, MP3 download, so that you can sync up with the astrology and harness those influences in your life. And we just are in the month 6, the final month of the previous journey. And now we're launching another one this month in September, and it starts next month in October. So it's happening. So my vision is to keep it going, but just having a 6-month commitment and closing the container. You can only join once every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to keep spiraling. Different themes. You want to hear the theme for this month? I haven't revealed it yet.
Sure.
It's called Reveal.
Ooh.
If you want to magnetize your dreams, you got to reveal yourself, right? You got to reveal who you are. So this month, and the last month, for example, a couple themes we've gone through: sacred sexuality, angels and ancestors, whole month on connecting to angels and ancestors, a whole month on your body's the temple, harnessing the power in your physical spacesuit so that you can run energy and be a powerful being. So those are examples of what we look at. And then this month is going to be woven together through the theme of reveal, shining your essence. And in that, doing some deep stuff to clear the soil. I'm feeling into the first month being like a recapitulation journey where we're going in and down to your past. Whatever's holding you there, we're going to clear it. We're going to forgive if you're ready, right? It's a gentle thing, but babe, it's direct. Shamanism, it's gentle, it's direct. So anywho, doors open this month. The waitlist is open now, and waitlist folks are going to get access to early enrollment. And once you get in, you have access to the vault, which is everything we've done so far. There's a vault.
That's amazing.
So imagine, thank you. It's like when you step in, you get everything in the membership. It's a portal.
You can dive right in. Instant activation.
Yeah, to your royal self, to your most expressed self. What I'm here to bring is union of polarity, light, dark, pain, joy, all of you. It's like you don't have to sever parts of yourself to live your destiny. All of you gets to come on this journey. So
what a beautiful intention.
For time purposes. Thank you.
Thank you. And so is it live call? It's 3 live calls and then some readings and some
3 live calls. We show up live. We heal together live. I'm very passionate about showing up with the people in real time.
Me too.
Love that.
And is that your only offering right now?
It actually is. It actually is. That's the focus here. And I've got courses that I'm brewing and from pain to purpose, yet this is the only live offer. This is the way to be in that temple space and the winged alchemy vibe.
Amazing. Okay, last 2 things. If there's any final messages, a word of wisdom that you'd like to share in this moment, and then, of course, where people can find you.
Beautiful. Thank you, love. I want to say to everybody to bring your doubt, bring your fear, bring yourself. Every single part of you gets to live out your dreams. And it's like when we pull up a chair for all of us to be at the table, we're free because we're not holding anything under the ground. We know who we are. We don't have to be perfect. And your destiny does not require you to be perfectly clean. We're humans, baby. We like to roll in the dirt a little bit. We like to get in there. My wild woman came through. I was like, damn, I'm frustrated. I didn't get my coffee right. I was like screaming in a pillow. It's like, babe, come on now. That's a part of my expression. It's holy. So take it with you. Just keep going. Keep going. Another thing would be dream really big. Shaman Durek calls it living giant. Oh, you want to sing on stage? Take that dream far out. Far out. Because it's like, he explains it as giving God something to work with. Go big in your mind. Go big in your mind. And then take the next courageous action step. Bring all of you. Come on now. Doubt is the greatest teacher of deep faith. Come on now.
I love that. I love that invitation. I can just feel you like ushering people in, like, let's go, step up.
Come on, rising Aries to the party.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it. And okay, where can people find you right now? We know Instagram, your website.
Yep. So on Instagram, I'm winged.alchemy, winged.alchemy. And through Instagram, you can find all my links. I'm most present there and on my email list. So my email list gets my deeper shares and my deeper teachings that Instagram would probably censor. And Instagram is more of a flip through kind of a vibe, but email list, I give some more depth and more personal experiences. So if you join that, you'll get a free shamanic journey. So you can go to my website, wingedalchemy.net, get all the fun stuff. I got free classes. I got a podcast, spiritually empowered podcast, and I'll link my episode with Eden, which loved having you on there. That was fun. I can't even remember now. Gosh, it's been years, but it's on.
I know. That's crazy. It was early on, I feel like, in your podcast too.
Yes.
I will put all of these links in the show notes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And I think that is it. And if you're watching this or listening to this in real time and you want that sacred structure and community, now's the time to take courageous action. So come and join us. We'd love to have you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Ashley. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Queen. Appreciate you so much. Rock it out. And I'm excited to connect with you soon. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Hey, love, thank you so much for tuning in today for Spiritually Empowered Podcast. I hope you absolutely loved this episode. And if you did, please share it with somebody who you really feel would benefit from these teachings and from this remembrance. I hope you have an incredible day wherever you're at in your world, and I will talk to you very soon. Love you.